It's like a Disney intro. I want more than what life has to offer, Mom. Like, if this doesn't break out into song right now, I'm going to be upset.
Hey YouTube, welcome back to our channel. My name is Elena.
And I'm Björn.
And we are Viking Age reenactors and living historians here to talk with you about your favorite Viking shows.
You know why we're here. We know why you're here. It's episode 8.
Go. She's carrying that axe like she's never carried an axe before.
I know, it's kind of weird. With that pitchfork. I never understood why when people who work on a farm hear horses whinny, that's like a cause for concern.
Yeah, horses make noises.
Like, yeah, they're like animals. They make sounds, you know? Case in point. Case in point, animals make sounds.
Thank you, Gutsy.
Like, I don't hear her meow and be like, oh, God, what's going on? Is somebody in the house? Like, no.
Yeah, that is a little bit weird.
Also, just to delay this further before getting to the episode, because we clearly try to suppress that from happening. It is just cool to see, like, the villagers come out, like, with their various, like, tools to, like, repel the Vikings trying to steal their horses and stuff. Because that's always, like, it's something you don't really, like, see too often. I feel like even with villagers coming up, they always come out with, like, axes and shields and all kinds of stuff. And, like, it's not out of the realm to say they'd have, like, an axe. But it's cool to see, like, a pitchfork or, like, a very crude, like, shovel. You know, just, like, stuff you don't normally see.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think overall, looking at that village was actually really cool because you could see a lot of different things. Like, there were a couple of, like, wooden bowls on the table next to him. You know, the axe that he grabbed was, like, right there. But, yeah, like you said, other than that, the make of the village was really, really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. It looked very natural. And yeah, that's actually a good point, because that was already, like, stuck into a stump as if somebody was cutting wood. And we kind of left it there. But, like, they were all clearly just waking up.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, you wouldn't leave that out in a stump overnight, because it's going to rust. We know from experience. Because we've done it so many times.
We know from mistakes.
We know from mistakes. But, yeah, beyond that, it was just really cool to see. I kind of wish the map developed like they did in Game of Thrones, where it would change.
That would
with,
be
like,
cool.
The territories, it'd be really cool.
Mercia needs a ruler who is not a tyrant imposed by Wessex. That is how it will appear if you are Edward's choice to be Lord and Protector of Mercia.
Another lord may not feel as well disposed to you. You could be banished.
If you are asking me to choose between a lord who is best for me or one who is best for Mercia, I will choose one who is best for Mercia. I appreciate all you have done for us, Uhtred. It does not change my conviction that Mercia needs a ruler who is independent of Wessex.
Sorry, just a quick point. Just nothing serious. Looking over his shoulder, like, every single shot, it just reminds me of, like, the Dark Age version of the scientist from Jurassic Park with the amber mosquito in his cane. Like, every single time, just seeing, like, it coming out of his back, like, just, like, shining in the light, I'm just like...
Let's talk about lines of succession. So we talked about how Aethelflaed is the next one to take over rule of Mercia after her husband's death. So a couple of our viewers noted that in the books, Uhtred is actually Ethelred's cousin, and his mother was Mercian. So he is actually related to this bloodline, which would give him more of a claim to this throne currently than what he has, because the show is apparently refusing to highlight the fact that he is Ethelred's cousin. I'm not 100% sure why. They might have just wanted to write it differently and give him a different standing within the kingdom somehow. I don't know.
They already kind of, like, play off the dichotomy of being sworn to a bunch of Vikings and Norsemen, but then also having ties to being an English nobleman, because he's from Bevember,
right?
You know, so then I feel like it'd just be like even more of a struggle to, on top of that, also throw in his ties to the Mercian crown. Like, I just feel like it's kind of, it's like too much, like, for a story.
It is a lot.
To tell a story like this.
Yeah.
So it could just be that they're ignoring it for the sake of simplicity in that regard. But yeah, I mean, even that being said, like, the line of succession works by, like, direct descendant. So, like, because Ethelfled and Ethelred had a child, it was more, like, the line of succession is more based around that child specifically, like, rather than her existing and then also Uhtred having a claim by being some kind of cousin. Like, that would kind of just muddy the waters in, like, royal alignment as well.
That's actually, like, a gray area for me. Like, when it comes to England, I don't quite know what happens with cousins of rulers specifically.
Yeah. Well, you get the Battle of Stamford Bridge. when the waters become too muddy. And I'm not even kidding. Like, you know, they weren't like cousins, but they were, you know, the kings at the time were like sworn to fealty to kind of with each other and made these grand promises. And then people who had other claims to the throne put in their bid with the sword and shield. So that's what happens. Don't worry too much about it because he won't be there for long.
No.
As we're seeing.
Yep.
As we're going to see this episode. I'm calling it. It's going to be this episode.
This episode, do you think?
This episode.
All right.
100% this episode. He did it wrong. I'm sorry. I grew up going to Catholic school. He did it wrong.
Did it?
Yep.
Oh.
Opposite shoulders. He did right to left.
Yeah.
But it's left to right.
Oh.
I wanted to discuss your baptism. Lord of Mercia must be Christian, it is written.
I have been baptized by Father Beoka. Twice.
Try from Uhtred with all the blindness of his heart. And ask your Lord to mercifully hear our prayers and protect Uhtred.
I don't think he was expecting that either.
He has been washed.
It was a bad washing. Now I can understand why the good Christian woman went off to the Vikings for proper bathing.
And it is not the worst outcome. I recall a time you wished Uhtred dead. I did. But your father saw something in Uhtred that I was blind to.
Is it so much to wish that Mercia have a ruler that has not been selected by Wessex?
You can wish, but that is all. These decisions are not made by us.
They're like really pushing hard for this.
They are.
Yeah.
It's just so transparent.
I know. It's like, oh, you want a bigger voice? Well, toughen up, Buttercup, because this is what life is like. It's like a Disney intro. I want more than what life has to offer, Mom. I want more. Like, if this doesn't break out into song right now, I'm going to be upset.
But also, why does she keep flip-flopping? One scene she's saying that, you know, Uhtred needs to go off and die, and then the next scene she's just like, well, he's not that bad. This is the best outcome ever. Yeah, her character needs to be a little bit more consistent, and that's not historical accuracy speaking, that's just irritation.
Plot. That's just plot. Alright,
Anyway.
Let's see this song.
Uhtred, Lord and Protector of Mercia, you may take your throne. I would like to address the witness.
There is someone better suited to rule Mercia than I. Someone who cares for Mercia more than themselves. I feel I have no choice but to relinquish the throne. In favor of Lady Ethelfled.
It happened!
It happened.
You're right, it was this episode.
I told you, short-lived.
Halfway through, actually.
Before they could
pretty
even
exactly.
before they could even swear fealty, he's like, I give it up. I'm done with this. I'm done. I don't want it.
I was expecting them to drag it out even further, honestly.
Yeah, I'm really glad they didn't. It's been long enough. Yeah, I mean, like, we always knew they were going to
Yeah.
stay true to it. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
yay, good for you guys.
They did well.
Happy Guns Acclaim.
Julik, what is this?
This is what happens when King Edward feels he's been insulted.
This is Mercia, he has no right.
Yeah, so Edward's not happy.
What? Oh, he's fine with it.
But also, he has no real right to refuse the throne to, somebody that Mercia decides to take on as the ruler.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the whole point. He wanted Uhtred to be his puppet.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole
But
thing
he's
is like,
not
hey.
going to do that.
Well, yeah, of course. Well, obviously, yeah, it's Uhtred. Of course not. He's going to act in the best interest. But, I mean, yeah, that's why he's furious. Because he had this whole plan of like, okay, after you have your little meeting with all your buddies, we're going to talk and I'm going to tell you how it goes. And he's like, oh, yeah, sure, buddy. Yeah, sure thing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay. Sure, Jan.
But yeah, he is quite in danger of destroying that Wessex and Mercia relationship right there.
Yeah.
And you would think that he would be okay with his sister being on a throne because it's his sister. Like, they could work together.
You would think.
It's not like Uhtred, tried to get, his number one enemy up on the throne or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
He could work with his sister, but he's just so in his head about wanting his own puppet up there.
Mm-hmm. And he knows that his sister's too strong-willed.
Yeah, exactly.
She's not going to be a puppet for him.
Exactly.
Yep.
I feel like he's taking some steps back. He started off the season not quite acting like the Edward that we know of historically. He was building up into that, and now he seems to be sliding back.
Yeah, it seems like he's taking a very roundabout way of getting there. Like, he's starting to kind of be more decisive and make those decisions. He's starting to become more of like a tyrannical, but like borderline tyrannical kind of ruler. Like, he's showing some deep-rooted problems there. That's not necessarily untrue to history, because he just magically gets Mercia once his sister dies, like...
That's true, but what we also know is that he did work with his sister for that relationship between the kingdoms. Like, they fought, several battles together, including Tettenhall. So, yeah, for him to just kind of snub her that way and try to take over Mercia himself because he didn't get his way seems a little bit bizarre to me.
Yeah, and it's just because he just wants a stronger Wessex, and he wants to eventually incorporate Mercia into that, and he knows that with his sister in the throne, he's not going to be able to during her lifetime. Mm-hmm. So.
Thanks to Uhtred, our family now sits on the thrones of both Wessex and Mercia. And your father's dream of a united England is even closer.
I'm glad she's finally seeing the light. Whatever that means.
Oh, just wait. She'll go back. Yeah, right? Like, how is that not his first thought? Like, at second thought.
It's like, oh, hey, our family now has the throne of two kingdoms.
Yeah, it's like he constantly forgets that it's his sister. Like, he constantly forgets that.
I don't know, he also talks about her like he hates her or something. Well, it's my sister. It's like, yeah.
And it's totally unjustified. Like, what the has she done to him?
I don't get it. I'm sorry, that last shot was just him standing there with the director going like, and hold, and hold, and hold.
Look menacing. Look all ferocious. Come on, give it to me. You're a Viking.
That was kind of brutal. That was awesome. Good use of the longbows. I feel like we've seen a lot of compound bows and just other types of weaponry in the past that makes absolutely no sense for the Vikings during this age. It's nice to see proper longbows being used in battle. And I think he actually called it. He didn't say bows, he said longbows.
There wasn't a single crossbow. There was no raven skull scope. It's great. It's good to see. Well done.
Yeah. I wonder what it was that they were using to set on fire.
Probably, I would assume it's just tar.
Most likely.
Tar, pitch. Both are very flammable, both are
wondering.
easy to produce, and they did produce it in mass quantities.
You feel they're here for you, Lady of Mercia. Now you have enough men to fight your brother.
We had mentioned before that the Saxons, the Anglo-Saxons, also used round shields. Whereas in the show they were showing the Wessex armies, I believe it was, using those more squared off shields that were a little bit more of the Roman design. I am noticing a very big distinction when it comes to Mercia, because everybody in there had a round shield, just like the Vikings. And that's kind of cool to see.
Yeah, that definitely is. And in, just kind of, since we're in the topic of it, the battle scene that we just saw with the Welsh had those square shields as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
As long as I am Lady of Mercia, you have my support. Together, I believe we can achieve our father's dream of a united land.
I know you think we lost out on wealth and power. You have something greater than that.
Please do not say our friendship.
That was another opportunity to break into song.
I know, my God. Well...
Edward believes the Danes no longer hold a threat. He's taken his army to Aylesbury, leaving Winchester undefended.
We leave for Winchester today.
I'm curious, and we're not seeing this because we're following the plot in Mercia more or less right now, but I'm curious about what the heck is happening in Northumbria currently. Now we have this new ragtag team of Vikings that suddenly came from Ireland, had their wins and everything like that, and now they're going to start pushing more east to try and take more land and everything like that, which is kind of like reminding me of the fact that, hey, we have a bunch of Vikings in Northumbria that are also supposed to be causing some trouble.
Yeah, that coupled with Edward's kind of push as well to kind of further his father's legacy and expel the Vikings from England. So
yeah, I mean, it seems like we're definitely building up to that, because after his chit chat with Ethelfled and her saying that that's basically what they were going to do is get rid of the Vikings, it definitely sounds like that's what they're headed.
yeah, East Anglia next, and then which is the third southern kingdom, and then from there it's just everything in the north.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then also a push further east is gonna leave all of the west open for Wessex. So it'll be interesting to see how it develops and where they end up taking it. I thought it was a pretty great episode. Honestly, I thought it was really great. I thought the development was awesome. It's great to see them actually like stick and eventually so quickly go into the historical provenance that we've been waiting for this last 3-4 episodes or so.
Yeah.
I like seeing the overwhelming support that they were able to drum up for Ethelfled as well, being the Lady of Mercia and knowing that she was so well loved. It was great to just see that kind of instilled in the populace specifically, which also helped to reinforce her support with the Eldermen. So I just thought that was a really kind of nice thing to see with it all. I really like it.
Yeah, I mean, there isn't a ton in here that we kind of like nitpick. Not a lot of small details to really talk about this time around, I think.
Yeah.
The overarching plot of Ethelfled taking the throne of Mercia is great to see here, finally. I just really like the way that they did it, honestly.
Yeah, I definitely did too. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. I really like that they like how heavily they showed the support she had with the people as well. You know, it really made her to be Lady of the Mercians.
Yeah, and her last scene again with Edward, talking about, uniting and taking England back from the Vikings, essentially. That is the start of that push, essentially, to further their own father's agenda and also free England from the Danelaw that was there at the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what is your rating?
God, I almost want to put up to an 8, but I feel like not enough happened besides this to warrant that.
I mean, that's a pretty big development, though.
Yeah, I feel like they didn't really do anything wrong. Like, everything that I saw was pretty nice to see in development. Anything that I had a problem with was pretty much the same. Kind of thing they've always done throughout the whole the whole series. So yeah, screw it. Just like with the good development and like with everything else that I saw, I talked about like seeing the people kind of come in to support her as well, and just having that huge push and swell of support and everything. I thought it was really well done, so I'm going to give it an 8. I'm going to go up that high.
Nice.
Yeah.
2 whole points.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, it was basically a 7 beforehand.
Yeah,
but
that's true. That's very true.
I'll let him have it. I'll reward him for good behavior.
Yeah, I'm gonna raise mine up to an 8 as well. I'm not gonna do the 2-point jump, mainly because that would bring it up to a 9, and there's still a lot of small things that, you know, all of these shows have.
Yeah, let's not get crazy over here.
Yeah, there's always gonna be a couple of points knocked down for, you know, shoddy leather armor and, you know, small things here and there. But, like, honestly, at this point, an 8 is, like,
Outstanding.
yeah, it's insanely good. I'm really, really enjoying the historical storylines, and actually seeing them come to life.
Yeah, absolutely. Hell yeah.
I'm being poetic about it. I want to see it come to life in front of my eyes. Thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified of our future videos. And we will see you in the next one.